Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me. My name is Andrea Wilson. I'm the broker and owner at Brick House Realty. And today, this morning, it's Saturday. And so we wanted to pop on here. And I have a guest with me today that's going to be joining in a short minute here. And we're going to just be having really a candid conversation about what it's like having your real estate license. As a real estate broker, I'm always asked about, what is it like? Is it like what we see on TV, having your real estate license? What's the process? How do you get into it? And before I even jump in and give that information, I like to give this warning to people of making sure that they really understand what they're getting themselves into. And don't just believe me. You can ask many of the other real estate agents out there in the marketplace and say, hey, is it really like, showing these beautiful homes and meeting these great clients and people? And most of them are going to really tell you the true behind the scenes of what we go through. Don't get it twisted. We really love what we do. If you've been in this business for a long time, that truly means that you enjoy what you're doing. And so because of that, we get the pleasure of helping buyers and sellers either move on to their dream home or just make that first purchase to help build wealth, create generational wealth for their family. So I am going to get this program started. So here we go. All right, so I am bringing my guest right into, I won't even say guest. I called you a guest, but you're not a guest. You are my family, my girl, and an agent here at Brick House Realty. So we wanted to do this and have, actually, this is CG Newman. I'll let her introduce herself in 1 second here, but it's kind of it's our anniversary, right? It's 1 year in the business. And so she's come a long way being in this business. So I know right around about the 30-day mark, we had done a video together of kind of like what it's like the first 30 days as a real estate agent. So I'm curious to hear from some feedback from her of what it's like now, a year later. Does she still love this, and maybe help encourage you guys or answer some questions that you guys have? So please go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone.
Well, hello, good morning, everyone. My name is CG Newman, and I am a realtor here at Brick House Realty. So welcome all. Thank you for tuning in this morning. And I hope that I say or share something that inspires someone today. So yeah, welcome.
All right. So I didn't write any questions down today because I really wanted to be very authentic. We talk on the phone, you guys, all the time throughout the day, almost daily, right? Especially when she first got her license, it was every day, multiple times a day of just getting through the process. So I want to back up a little bit, and I just want to, so everyone kind of understands the beginning. What made you decide to get your real estate license?
So actually, I had been interested in real estate early on in life, around 19 or so. But of course, life happened. My path led another way. And I just never really had the opportunity to tap back into it. So 16 years, fast forward, I just came in a crossroad in my life. And I decided that I was no longer going to allow, something that I knew I had a passion, something I had a desire for, no longer sit on the back burner. I was a wife for 16 years. I'm a mother of 3. And I just felt that it was now time for me to kind of do something for myself, do something that ultimately, like I said, I had a passion and just wanted to have more knowledge and understanding about it. So I decided to jump in both feet, and real estate is where I am today. So yeah.
Do you think, was it scary, like when you first Um,
So started out.
yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, it was absolutely scary, but I think that is something that intrigued me more. Though it was real estate is definitely something that makes you want to learn more, want to know more, because you're working with the community, you're talking to different individuals, you're learning different individuals' background and behaviors. You talk to so many individuals within a day, with so many different stories. So that alone is what I was driven behind and wanted to kind of know more about. So yeah, it's definitely, but scary, definitely, because you have to deal with so many different people's attitude and perspectives and situations, because in real estate we both know that we deal with so a broad of different people, right? So
Yeah.
you have to kind of learn how to adjust to everyone's particular need. Everybody's need is different. Everybody's approach and attitude is different. So you definitely have to be able to kind of position yourself to kind of be able to relate to every individual. So yes.
Do you have a different perspective on it? Do you think since when you first got your license of what you thought you were going into or getting yourself into versus now?
So I do, but not in a negative light though. Like I said, real estate is definitely something I love. I love the ups of it, the downs of it, but I will say, and one thing I think people have a misconception of is real estate is this world of just glam. You see all the the benefits or perks, as I shall say, of being a real estate agent, but you don't really see what all goes into it.
Mhm.
There are days where you're just like, what am I doing? How did I get myself here? Where am I at? But then there's days where you definitely can connect and reassure your client and just get joy out of the excitement of them going through this transaction of becoming a homeowner. Like, that's what gives you the go and the drive to every single day keep doing it, not giving up, with today you not having all the answers, right? And trying to figure it out as you go. But ultimately, like I said, just kind of never giving up on the situation. So yeah.
What do your kids think? Do you work? Because now you don't have a set schedule. So is
Exactly. Exactly. So my kids, it has definitely been an adjustment for them, because I tell everybody all the time, I definitely work more now than I did when I was in medical, but the reason behind that is because I love what I do. I dedicate all of my extra time, my extra energy, because like I am building a brand, I'm building a business, you know what I mean? So it's going to require a lot of your time. It's going to require a lot of your attention, and the kids understand to a certain degree, but they're like, that's a lot. Like you have to do a lot. And that's what I'm saying, as far as, making sure everyone understands that there is a lot that goes into real estate. Let me just be clear. And a lot of things that, you don't know or are prepared for until you actually get into the field. And that's one thing too, because what it is that you're required to know, as far as the 120 hours you're required to obtain your real estate license. When you actually obtain your license, that whole knowledge piece that you've learned is totally different from the lane you're now in, physically making transactions. You're now dealing with contracts. You have to make sure you know laws and principles and ethics and equal house. There are so many different things that goes into it, on top of just home ownership. I mean, obtaining this home for this client, there's a lot that goes into that. So you definitely want to make sure, if real estate is something that you are interested in, number one, do your research, to make sure that this is something that is even something you will be interested in doing, right? Number two, understanding it takes a lot of obedience. It takes a lot of determination. It takes a lot of drive, on top of being organized, because you're not only dealing with clients, you're dealing with sellers, buyers, investors, you're dealing with lenders. home insurance, you know what I mean? You're dealing with so many different things, title rep. So it's more than just, oh, I'm selling houses. There's a lot that goes into it, and you should be mindful because that takes a lot. That takes a lot of you. That takes a lot of, consistent behaviors every single day, learning, new behaviors every single day, and being consistent with it. So you have to, number one, be able to have that desire and drive, right? To even think of it. And then also I tell people, understand real estate is not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for everybody. You have to really, understand that I'll explain it this way better. So there are individuals who have, skimmed through life with a C average attitude all the way, right? So, with real estate, I will say it's something that you either got it or you don't. You really do, because there's no gray area with it, because you can't, let me just say, you can't get into real estate and just, you're going to have a C average attitude, because you got to come with your A game every single day. There, you can't, like, even with your days off, you can't have no days off. You understand what I'm saying? There are going to be days that you just physically, mentally have to tell yourself, like, no, it's not an option. It's just not. You get what I'm saying? And every single day having that conversation with you, because it's going to be many days you want to give up, you want to quit, you want to reconsider it. But at the same time, having the mentality of no, it's not an option. I can't give up. I won't quit. That has to definitely be something you have to continuously say every single day. Definitely in real estate.
Also, I was going to ask you, but you answered my question. Have you wake up someday like, why am I doing this? I quit. I quit. I don't even want to do it anymore.
Yeah. And I do. And that's honestly having, open dialogue and being honest. Like, there are days where it's just like, it's a lot. It is a lot to process now, but the reason being is because you're now experiencing, seeing something that you've never seen before. So you get weary. That's where fear tried to come into play, right? Making you feel like you can do it, but it's just because it's unfamiliar territory. You haven't seen this before. Like like I said, I had a passion for it moons ago, right? Not having, any experience, or other than, let me not say that, because I am a homeowner myself. So I guess to have a leg up on that angle. But as far as dealing with clients, dealing with, making transactions happen, that's a whole nother realm. You know what I mean? So I think, more than anything, fear just tries to play a major part in when you're trying to learn and grow and expand yourself and do something new, but it's been many days that I'm like, I've probably had the conversation with myself twice, like, what are you doing? But at the same time, I've come this far, you get what I'm saying? And I'm not giving up now. So, but definitely knowing that this is something that I am definitely set and here to do. I love real estate. Like I said, even with the ups and downs and times that I question myself, I definitely get up with a desire just to do it every single day, learn every day, grow every day. So
do you think that it's gotten easier from when we look back from, day 30, when we had kind of done this, like a video together back then, to now a year later? Has it gotten easier?
Well, I will say honestly, in some ways, yes, because like I said, once you consistently do something over and over again, it becomes a familiar pattern, right? So some of the things where I may have been weary about the first 30 days, because like, I don't know anything, like, you get what I mean? I'm trying to figure it all out, and it's been 30 days, as opposed to now I know, the requirements to get through a necessary transaction. I know what that for, you get what I mean? So things definitely are a lot easier as far as that, but at the same time, understand in real estate, there's so many avenues in real estate. So you're doing all different type of transactions every single day. So I now know how to handle VA loans. I know now how to handle FHA 203K loans. I now know how to work with a conventional lender or you get what I'm saying? So but you're every single day having different experiences. So every single day you do have a familiar pattern, but you're still, compiling other aspects onto that as well. So there, you know what I mean? So there are, still times where it's like, okay, now how do I do this? Because there's always things coming into real estate, and you're always learning and growing. So yeah.
Do you feel that I've been a good mentor or
coach? Oh my God. Listen, let me tell you, let me first say this. It is so important that you make sure that you have the right people around you, right? That is literally my daily prayer, right? To make sure that, God supplies me with the right people around me that's going to nurture me, that's going to want to see me grow, that's going to help me, and not just say it, like be there, like have shown up, like, you get what I'm saying? Not just say it, not just talk about it. Like when I tell you from out the gate, you already know, and please don't get me emotional this morning. We're not doing that today, right? But when I tell you from out the gate, from when I said, Andrea, I want to do real estate, out the gate, and I'm talking about having,
all right, we'll change it.
No, you already know, but having that individual who consistently pushes you when you don't want to anymore, consistently, checking in on you, being there for you, making sure what she know, Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing that I was saying, just as far as like, with all the information that you've known, you've never been hesitant to share it with me. And we have to do better, just as far as, that's why I said I'm your resource. Utilize me. Like all that I know, you should know, because the more information you have, the more comfortable and confident you are with anything. That's anything. With obtaining a home, with wanting to be a real estate agent, the more you know, the better you can do. You get what I'm saying with that information. So go ahead.
I feel like even outside of just real estate, just in life in general, there's things that and experiences that you have, that you can share with. It might be something with other women, or it just anything in life that we have to. I feel like that's important to like share.
Absolutely.
I definitely think that is when you come from a place in your heart where you're just naturally always giving and like to give to other people and share. I just think that, we all take our bumps and bruises just in life in general.
Yep.
But that's the thing that makes sure that we're always covered, because we're always looking and trying to help and want to improve someone else's life. Yeah. And it's fulfilling. To me, it's fulfilling, when you're able to like do for others. Absolutely. Even when you know that other person may, in some cases, can never repay you, know. So yes, it's very interesting. But
you already know that's and it's just like and I always say there's not even enough words that I could ever say to repay, not just only from a mentor, as a friend. You know what I mean? That you've been to me. So a million words can never repay my gratitude for you. So I do want to just take that.
I appreciate that.
You already know that. I tell you that on a consistent basis, but yeah.
But let me say this just as it relates to, I think this is important too. I think one of the reasons that you've been successful in like your first year is because you just did, right? You put in the time and did the work. Yeah. And you didn't never really second guess it, even though it's like, oh, is this really going to work? You mean you're going to tell me? You just did. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person, I'll pop up and say, okay, we're going to do this today. We're going to go knock on some doors. And you've always said, okay. So I think that is a great, great, great quality to have, just kind of being sure, I'm sure you were afraid, like literally gave you a list and say, okay, we got to call down this list, call these folks, expired listings, or call these people. Something you've never done before. And I'm sure you were afraid, like, okay, well, what am I going to be saying?
What do I say?
Yeah. But you just did it. And I think that having that quality of just being a doer definitely helps you out, or can help anyone else out in this business, it's like you just got to pick up and go, because
Do it.
no
Yeah.
one just handing you business,
At all.
out there. And even when someone is, a lot of times when people say, oh, we got leads for you, other brokerages say, well, we have leads for you. And yeah, it's not going to be the shiny, lead that's all
Yeah.
the 800 credit score,
Yeah.
conventional loan, got all their down payment.
Yeah.
It's going to look like that. You have to like create a sale or a buyer client,
Yeah.
so you actually have to really put in that work.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about that part of it? Is it hard finding clients?
So it is, but with that, like you said, there's going to be like presenting me with the list, and it's just like when first presenting that to me, it's like, okay, what do I even say? What do I even, I'm not even really seasoned or familiar with, even engaging in a conversation just because it's unfamiliar territory. But that's where consistency comes into place, because the more that you just honestly just have a conversation with somebody, right? When you know what I mean, and be more relatable and just really listen to their needs, because that's what it is. We want to definitely make sure that we're supplying their needs, and every client is different, right? So, but I think over time, just, continuing to have those conversations with different people in different situations, no matter what that may be, right? Because ultimately we want to supply that need. So it's just taking that time, and kind of, what I'm saying, just familiarizing yourself in that avenue. So yeah.
When you look around, do you feel like, dang, there's a lot of real estate agents, or it's like every day?
Well, I don't, and that's the thing too, because first of all, you can't, like, if I was fearful about how oversaturated real estate is, I wouldn't be doing it. Let's just be clear. But you have to understand, with real estate being where it is, like, you got to come in and make your own lane. You got to come in and have your own mission. You got to come in and have your own goals, and not be worried about what everybody else is doing, what everybody else is producing. Stay focused to what your plan is. Stay focused to what made you start. You get what I'm saying? Like, and then on top of that, let's just be clear. You absolutely can't come into this thinking or doing it all for the money. Because let me just tell you, if you in it for the money, you in it for the wrong reasons, right? Because you got to understand, like, even coming into real estate, like, you got to put skin in the game. You do. Even coming in, like, you got to put a lot of yourself before you even see anything. You get what I'm saying, as far as in return. So that's why you got to continuously be consistent about doing these things, because you'll then get referrals the more people you talk to, or people will start recognizing you, or you get what I'm saying, you will build clientele that way the more consistently you do it. But don't nobody just be like, oh, these are all the people that are pre-qualified, they're good to go, they're gonna, like, that's not how it works. Nobody even, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
Who are you? You get what I mean? Why should I trust you? Why should I even use your service? You get what I'm saying? So you have to put yourself out there. And that requires, again, consistently doing it. You know what I'm saying? Making yourself available, having and building these long-lasting relationships with individuals, right? Because, having the experience with me is ultimately going to say, hey, I had an amazing realtor. She was, the transaction was great, had no problems. A to, to Z, got me there. You should use her. You get what I'm saying? So then, the more you do that, the more people recognize and understand, your purpose and mission.
What about the level of customer service in this business? What do you think about that? That's like required.
That's like required. Lord Jesus. So no, and not to even look at it, you should want to do over and above for your clients. You do. Well, let's just say for me. So I'm just going to say this. I am definitely one trying to change the face of, what real estate looks like. Your experience should be phenomenal. I should be, because not only does it, make me happy, but it's because this is what I want you to have utilizing me, using me. You get what I'm saying? You should have professionalism when I come to you. You should have, feel confident in what I am doing with you in this transaction. You should feel, comfortable making this decision. So I should, the customer service should definitely be there, and exceed your expectation more than anything, actually. So I think it's important. I think it's important to have customer service.
Do you think that you got to set boundaries? Like, my hours are 9 to 5 every day. Like, do you think that that's possible, or is it important?
It's important to try to, of course, implement those boundaries. I will say there are times where that's just not the case, but I have definitely understood more over this year why you should, you know what I mean? Because anything prior to or after the times that I said, those times are set for things as well. You know what I mean? So definitely trying to have a cutoff time. You know what I mean? Just to still be a parent to my mother, to my children, to still, take care of my household and things of that nature. And then to be, so you can see me as a business, you know what I mean? Every business has business hours, right? So the more that you implement what that looks like for your clients, they'll understand and respect that. So
do you think you've learned from mistakes along the way?
absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely.
So do you let that get you down, or
No, because it's definitely something that it's a new career, right? It's something that you're learning something new every single day. What I will tell you is I won't make the same mistake twice. But now it's because I've gained the experience of what I did wrong, you know what I mean, and just making the necessary adjustments to not do it again. So it's necessary because, without me making mistakes, how will I ever learn from them? You know what I mean? So I think, but the thing about that is not beating yourself up from making mistakes, because that's just not realistic. Like, you're going to make mistakes. This is something that you've never done before, right? But it does make a tremendous difference when, number one, you aren't holding yourself accountable for the mistakes you're making, right? By not doing them again, right? And taking that, taking that on a chin, but not beating yourself up because you've made mistakes. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Take it head on for what it is. It's a bump on the chin, but keep moving. And know that you're going to continue to make mistakes, but just try not to repeat them. It's definitely a goal.
What's your favorite part about the business?
My favorite part, so I now understand, why I was blessed with the gift of gab, but to be able to utilize it in a way, just because I really, love just connecting and building relationships with people, to just be able to, meet clients where they are and just to get them to what their goal is, and ultimately that is home ownership, but building, the relationship in between, knowing their background. And then, it's just the building of relationships that really, really drives me in real estate. So, yeah.
Do you think that somebody wanting to get in this business that they need to understand what like their goals are or their areas of interest?
Sure. So, everyone definitely should have some kind of goal going into this, right? And I think I mentioned this to you too. Starting off in real estate, we sat down and had that conversation just as far as what do I expect out of this year, right? And I'm gonna just be honest, like, it's so amazing because I just threw a crazy number out there, like not even, at the time thinking that it was a crazy number, just set a goal for myself and did everything to obtain that number. Now, the amazing, why that is amazing though, is because years coming forward, like, I actually came very close to hitting that number out of my first year. But setting the goal, it was like, it was so wild. You get what I'm saying? To even set my goals that I'm like, my first year of real estate, yeah, right. Like to hit that
Yeah.
number, you get what I'm saying? But and then to like I said, to come that close to it was definitely something amazing and rewarding itself. So you should definitely set a goal and try to crush it. You know what I mean? Within anything. So definitely.
Is there something that you would like if you go back in time and look back, is there something that you would have done like earlier on in the business
Earlier on in the business.
or took some sort of training? Is there something that you would have wish you would have done a little sooner?
A little sooner. I definitely feel like I wish I would have started real estate sooner.
Yeah.
But and as far as already being in here and trying to figure things out, I think like I said, kind of researching what real estate would look like for you. Definitely understand and invest in some important things, just as far as marketing and things of that nature, making sure that all of those things are lined up for you when you do actually branch out and want to kind of brand yourself in this new career, right? So just making sure that those things are kind of lined up as well, because it that definitely plays a big part in your career as well. So that would probably be something I would suggest. Make sure you research some marketing and branding strategies.
So maybe that they should have some savings to immediately start like towards a marketing budget.
Absolutely. I mean, because and so well, let me just say this too, because I think a lot of people think it's, or let me just explain this. So all of that falls into, you know, your own finances. I think people think, you know, that marketing or things of that nature probably comes from like the brokerage or something of that nature, but understanding like you have to finance that whole side yourself, like having business cards or getting yard signs and things of that nature. So understand like you should have some money set aside, like I said, when it does come to branding, because you have to promote yourself. You get what I mean? So definitely make sure you have some cushion that comes into play to be able to, you know, when you do start real estate, to be able to brand the way that you need to. So absolutely have some savings put aside.
So, I guess, that kind of wraps up, all of the questions and everything. I appreciate you willing to, come on here and share. I talk to so many people all the time who want to get in this business. And for me, I just think that they have the idea of wanting to help people buy and sell homes, and that seems great. And I see all these people doing it. But when you look at the statistics from it, it really takes about 2 to 3 years for someone to like really grow their business and start generating their own level of referrals. And there's a number of factors. Unless you have a really strong database or a network of people who can refer you business, and that makes all the difference, right? Mm-hmm. If you came from an HR department where they consistently bringing people in and you can tap into those folks and then they just refer you business, great. Like that's like the perfect thing. But if you're someone who, well, I don't really have a lot of friends, I don't really have a large network, you're going to be building that from scratch. And so it can take much longer to do that. And I think the part that really makes this job so hard is because when we look at any transaction, at minimum, we usually have about 4 people in the transaction. Mm-hmm. We have, ourselves as the agent, and then we have the seller's agent. If I'm representing the buyer, the seller's agent, and then the seller, and then the buyer. And then if they're married, that could add 2 more people to the transaction. So anywhere from 4 to 6 people in a transaction. And so now we're dealing with people, and we're dealing with conflict and attitudes and everything else. And how many times have you seen people, especially in this market, they're selling a house because the loved one passed away and maybe they can't afford it. They're selling a house because of divorce. They're selling a house because they're relocating out of town. And so in some cases, they may be moving or buying, not because they wanted to, because they had to, because of some kind of life circumstance. So a lot of times they just, because of that pain that they may be dealing with through all of this, that kind of comes out.
Absolutely.
And so there's people on the other end of that that's receiving that. And then you might be dealing with someone who may not be as professional as you would like them to be, or as quick to respond. So it's frustrating because I have a client on my back. What's this? Give me answers. I don't know. And then if someone else is not responding, it's like this whole extra level of stress.
Yes.
Now, who asked for all that? You think like, no, we should just write a contract, send it over, accept this. And then the other thing, when you're thinking about a buyer, CG, how many times have you got a buyer, you write the offer, get it accepted, right? You just negotiated this contract to it. See, yeah, I got you. We're all good. And then they call you the next day, like you know what?
I'm considering, yeah, I don't want to go through anymore. Yeah, I think I saw another house. Can we go see that one? Yeah. We're on a contract. Oh, okay.
So how stressful is that for you as an agent? Like, you showed them like 50 houses, right?
Mind you, right. We, rain, hail, sleet, snow. We've been out here looking at all these houses, right? Everywhere, right?
And the house we got under contract checks off all the boxes.
Everything we've been looking for. Everything. Right? Okay. Yes.
So let's say you have to have really good negotiation skills.
You definitely do. You definitely do, especially in this market. And like I said, to make sure that, your clients are aware of the market that we're looking at too, because, the property values have went up tremendously, right? With that being said, sellers are definitely getting what they want, right? Because the inventory is slow, right? Mm-hmm. So making sure that your clients understand that sometimes they're getting between 3 and 15 over asking price, right? So you got to be able to know what to implement. Number one, even in your contract, right? To even bring your offer to their attention, right? And then, how these bidding wars are created, because everybody now wants this house too, right? You definitely got to be able to negotiate your wheels a little bit there. Definitely close on the contract, but to get all the way there with your negotiating strategies that you put in mind for a client then to want to walk away from all of that, it's like, do you know what I just went through to even get us?
You gotta pull this. Sometimes we are like, give me this. We trying to make deals. We put it all together, like,
and this too. And can we get that over here too? And but you definitely have to be able to negotiate in this world.
You have to have thick skin. You have to have patience a lot of times, and you have to have that skill to really talk to your clients. So. We're not telling what our clients do. First of all, I don't think we lead from a place. We're not leading from a place of trying to chase a paycheck. That's not what it is either.
Yeah.
We truly, I believe, lead from a place of, I think this, based on what you told me, I think that this is a good decision that you're making on this particular house because it checks off all of the boxes of what you said. It has a new furnace. It has a new roof. It has all of these things, and it's great for you. But you keep trying to lean towards this property over here that it doesn't have a new roof. It's going to need a new driveway. So I think we really help people make an important life decision that's going to help better them. So I think being able to present the information in a way that the client doesn't necessarily think like you're trying to boss them or trying to force something on them, being able to kind of break down, going back to my list here, because on my list, when we sat down and had our buyer consultation, you said this, and this.
Yeah.
or Mr. Seller, when we sat down and we listed your house, you said that you would take like this off. This is what you were looking for, on there. So I think that definitely is an important part of the process. So
Yeah.
I am looking forward to year 2.
Yeah.
Having you as an agent in the office, kicking off the year strong. It is lower inventory out there, guys, but we're here for the long haul. We tag team, so do make it happen, get you out to the property and show those properties to you. I do want to mention to you guys before we go, I know we're talking about real estate agents here, but we have an event next week. It's called the Home Buyer Experience, and we're going to be right back here on this channel for on Facebook, sharing with you guys and talking and providing. We have some guests that are going to be joining us. Anything you want to share with them about the home buyer experience?
So this is definitely the experience that you want to kind of come sit in and just understand from A to Z what does a home buying experience looks like from top to bottom. So we will have a couple guests, like Andrea said, on there to kind of also explain their lane and what they do in the transaction. But this just will get you familiar all around how to start the process. That's a lot of question with many. What's the requirements and things of that nature, leading up to us physically giving you the keys to your new home. So all of that information will be provided in this event. So please stay tuned and join in on that as well with us. So yeah.
Well, thank you guys. I guess we'll go ahead and get it wrapped up. I hope we answer all of your questions. If you've been thinking about getting your real estate license, we are looking for more family members here at Brick House Realty also. So come join us. Come work with CG as well, do a deal together. And so we can talk about that. We do have the pre-licensing classes, which CG took the classes with us too. And I almost forgot about that. So she can definitely answer any questions you may have. These are online classes. You kind of study at your own pace. They're $999, or you can break it into a payment plan of $342 over 3 months. And then you take your state exam, which is a whole nother ordeal, right? So, the classroom requires 120 classroom hours. That is what the state makes us take, right, as real estate agents. But then once you finish that 120 hours, you need a sponsoring broker to sit for your exam. Brickhouse Realty can be your sponsoring broker. And then this test is given in 2 parts, a state and national exam. If you fail one part, you can go back and take the other part. And guess what? The state loves your money. So they will allow you to come and take it as many times as you like, as long as you pay them that application fee over and over again. So don't get discouraged. You just have to pay the money. You take the test again. It happens. You just do what you have to do. Study a little bit harder and go back in there. No one will know. No one will. Keep that between us. So if you want more information, you can give us a call at the number that's scrolling below. And if you had a goal, if your goal this year was to get your real estate license, let's make it happen. No more sitting back, procrastinating. 2020 had a lot of you sitting at home through COVID, couldn't make any money. But guess what? We were essential workers.
We're out here working. Yes.
Yeah. So all of 2020, it didn't stop us. We were helping people still buy homes, sell homes. So you can join in on the fun too. So, all right. Well, if you are not already, please like or subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions for me, you can call the 216-220-7886 number. If you have a question for CG, how can they reach you?
Well, you guys can reach me at 216-773-7969. If you're looking for a realtor, I am here for you to supply all of your real estate needs. And I look forward to hearing from you guys.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.
All right. Take care, you guys.